Alright, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Python tutorial. This video is going to be the continuation of the previous tutorial that I created, which was how to create a login and register system using Python. So in the previous tutorial we got to the bit where we finished the registration process for the user, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to allow the user to log into the system. The next tutorial is going to be the last video on the series finishing up the system. So in the next video, you're going to learn how to give the user a session once he or her has logged in, and then how the user will be able to save notes or create notes or delete notes. That's what our program's about. So without any further delays, let's get into it. First of all, what I want to tell you guys is that from the last time that we created this program, we want to edit a line where we're going to take off the txt bit. When we register a user, what we had before was a plus.txt. This is pretty much the code you would have had from before. What I want you guys to do is take this off because we do not want to save it as a txt, neither do we want it to have a file extension. So we're just going to save it as is. Once you're done with that, move on to going to our login function, which we created last time. By the way, if you're not familiar to this, I will also be linking the tutorial to the part 1 of this video in the description. So what we want to do in the login is pretty much the same thing as registration graphics wise. So first of all, what we're going to do is do a global screen2 for the screen we're about to create. Screen2 will equal the top level of screen, which is the first screen that we created. Then we set the title for screen2, which is going to be login, and then we also do screen2.geometry. We will go by 300 by 250, like the one for the register. Next, what we're going to do is do the labels. I might as well just copy these ones because there's no point of me repeating myself. Just going to copy that. Paste here. So we just got a label saying please enter details below to log in. I'm just going to change that to login. Then also what we're going to do next is copy the username entry, actually the labels for the username and the password. It's annoying how you can't select two things at a time in Python, which is really gets to my nerves sometimes. So before we we need another label there. Screen1 text equals password, and obviously it is required for them to enter the password or they won't be able to log in. So once we're done with this, what we need to do is create two more variable types like we did before. How we're going to do that is pretty simple. We're just going to create username verify equals string variable and password verify equals string variable 2. So we're just going to globalize these two variables so that we don't have trouble later accessing them from another function. So username verify, and we're also going to globalize the password verify. Okay, so now we can actually go ahead and create our entries. So the entry is going to be called username entry1, since we already used that variable before, so we're going to put a 1 in front. Entry, and it's going to sit on screen2, and the text variable is obviously going to be set to username verify. Hope I haven't made any spelling mistakes, so I'm going to have to do this all over again. And then we're going to do username entry1.pack. We also need like a blank label between them to leave like space, so we're just going to remove this so there's a space between them. And then we're going to do password, just copy this pretty much, and we're going to change that here. So we're going to do password entry1 entry1.pack, and then we're going to change the text variable to password verify. Copy and pasting actually makes life a lot easier and these tutorials a bit more faster than they would be. So once you're done with this, we're just going to create the final thing, which is going to be the button that's going to sit on there. We need another blank label, so we're just going to copy this right here. And then we're going to create a button which is going to be set on screen 2. Text for the button is going to be login. The width is going to be 10, height is going to be 1, and the command is going to be login verify. Okay, and then we're just going to pack that. Now we're going to run this to see how the graphics look so far. Hopefully we're not going to have any errors. Oh. Screen 1 is not defined. Please enter details below. Oh, I forgot to change the things. So we had to change this to screen 2. This is why copying and pasting sometimes gets me in trouble, since I don't change the variables. If we run it now, hopefully there's no errors. Login. Screen 1 is not defined. We still have screen 1 somewhere. Here we are. We changed that to screen 2 and it should start working normally. Login. Oh my god. Line 59. I'm gonna try and find the place where I have the screen 1 still on there. That's right there. It gets really annoying after some time because it's like the most basic error you would make while programming. So once I've got everything changed to screen 2, hopefully the third time still has an error. Login verify is not defined. Okay, this error makes sense at least because I haven't. So since we created a function and assigned it to the button called login verify, we're gonna have to create a function called login verify. And for now, we're just gonna print working. We'll run this again, and this time I'm pretty sure we won't have any errors. Okay, so as we see here, we have a sweet little form that's asking us for a username, password, login, but nothing's happening. This is just a graphical design. Once we're done with the graphical design, we will actually gather usernames and password and validate them to check if the user's account actually exists or it doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to say username1 equals username verify.get, and the password 1 equals password verify.get. I've used 1 just because it shouldn't clash with the other ones, otherwise it's going to be a problem. So once we have our username and password, what we want to do is we might as well clear the forms, the entries, screen entries. How we're going to do that is by globalizing it. We're going to say global username entry and global password entry. So we're going to do, actually this we did the wrong one, so I'm just going to clear that up. Go here and copy these two. Just going to copy this, paste it down here. So it's just going to be username entry 1 and password entry 1. I was wondering why I didn't put a 1 there before, and now it makes sense. So what we're going to do is username entry 1 delete, 0, if that's the right thing, and password entry 1 delete, 0. I'm gonna run this real quick to see if it works. As we see right here, we have some text in there. Login, delete is not defined. Name delete is not defined. I'm pretty sure we had done. Okay, so the problem was that we have to put dot delete first. So dot delete 0, n. Been developing a lot more PHP more than Python now, so I'm starting to forget the way things go here and there. Okay, that should work fine now. So now what we need to do is gather the list of files that are stored in a directory that this thing is saving the accounts on. So if I go to desktop, I'm gonna have the folder called graphics, and then as you see right here, the user accounts which I created are saved in this directory. So what we want is the file names of those files. How we do that is we import OS. So you want to type in import OS, which stands for operating system, and then we do list of files equals OS dot list directory, and it will list all the files within the current directory as a list. So what you want to do next is say that if username 1 equals list of files, then we want to open the file which is right there, which we've just got, which is going to be the username 1, and we want to open it in the read mode so that we are able to read it. We're going to call this file 1, and then on the next line what you want to do is type in verify equals file 1 dot read. I think you have to do a dot split lines as well. I'm just going to check on that real quick. Give me a quick second. Yeah, so you have to do a dot split lines as well, just like this. So what's going to happen is it's going to read all the lines within the text file, and it's going to ignore the thingy, the /n, which stands for a blank space or a blank line. So it's going to ignore that, and it's going to split it into a nice little array or a list. So next step is going to be if password 1 in verify, we're gonna print login success, else we're gonna print password has not been recognized, and we have to do another else for the if statement we did above, which was if we have the user name in the directory. If we don't, we're simply gonna say user not found. Okay, we'll run this to see if it works. Pretty sure we should have at least one error. Okay, so user 1 2 3. So as you see right here, it says user not found. You go back to our directory, we do have a file named user. If username 1 verify.get equals list. Well, actually what you want to do is change the equals into in, because it's going to show a list of files, and we want to tell it if there is this file in the list of files, then we want to do the following. Okay, that was a logical error. So we'll do user, and the password is 1 2 3, login, and it says login success, and it also clears the form. If we type in some random username and password and try to log in, it's going to say user not found. If we type in user, which is already in there, it's a file, so this is already in there. And if we type in password, instead of typing 1 2 3, which is the actual password to the file, if we type in some gibberish and log in, it will say password has not been recognized. So there's 3 things that can actually happen. If your username that you've provided doesn't exist at all, it's going to say no user found. If your username and password does match, it's going to say login success. And if your password if your username is right and the password is wrong, what it's going to say is password has not been recognized. So what we now want to do is convert these little text into graphics. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to move on to here, right here, and then we will say a function. We'll assign it to a function. What should we call the function? If so, this is a success. So success, login success. We'll run that function there. Password not recognized. And we'll run user not found as well, right here. Okay, so now what we have to do is create all these three functions right here. Login success, def password not recognized, and also the def user not found. All these functions are pretty much going to be just pop-up windows, so we're just making them clean and separate. So what we want to do is create a screen 3, which is going to be top level of the main screen. Then we will do screen 3.title success. This function is actually going to change to the session that we're going to give to the user in the next tutorial, so bear in mind. Then we'll do screen 3.geometry 150 times 100, and then we'll do one label, which is going to say text equals login success dot pack, and then another button which is going to have text saying OK, and command set to we'll try this, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. Okay, so if we run this real quick, we've just written one function so far. We're just going to write print working in these functions so that they're not empty and it doesn't return an error to us. Paste this here and paste this here. So we run this again. Okay, login user 123, login again. Okay, so the problem is that it says login success on our main screen. Since we haven't put screen 3 right here, we're going to put screen 3 here as well. Now it should work properly. Login user 123, that bad window path, top level 12. Okay, so maybe we can't run the function directly, so we're just going to have to do this as a different function. So delete 2. What's going to happen in delete 2 is that it's going to delete that's pretty much going to just delete the window that is open, or the pop-up. How that's going to happen is we're going to globalize the screen 3, so create global screen 3, and we're just going to do screen 3.destroy, and we'll run the function. The rest of the two pop-ups are going to be pretty much the same. We're just testing on the main function, which is this one. There's no button at the moment for some reason. Text equals OK, command equals delete 2. Okay, we haven't packed it, no wonder. I hate when I make like the silliest mistakes ever, but it always happens. Okay, so login success, we click OK, it just disappears. That's literally what we wanted. So now we can just copy this right here. It's going to be the same thing anyway, so we'll change that to screen 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. The thing is going to change to password not recognized instead of login success. Or let's just say password error. And then what we're going to do here is copy the delete function again, paste it down here. We'll call this 3, and we give this 4, make that 3. Okay, now we just move on to user not found, which is the last function that we have to set, and we'll be pretty much done with this tutorial. I'm just gonna copy that again, paste it right here, screen 5, 5, 5, change pretty much all the things to 5, and then we'll say user not found. Okay. We also want to change this to delete 4. We copy this real quick. Paste it again, delete 4, and then that will delete the screen 5. Right. So we're gonna run the program again. Hopefully there's gonna be no errors at all. And hopefully all the functions are working as they should. So we'll enter the right username, which is user, and the password is going to be wrong. If we try to log in, it will say password error as we programmed it to. Now we'll try to log in with a random user, which is not even created, and a random password. So it's going to say user not found. And now when we log in as the right username and password, which is user and 123, it's going to say login success. The next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to change that window from saying login success to an actual window that will let the user carry out different tasks. So please make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on the further tutorial on how to finish the system up, because it's going to be very interesting. And I'm pretty sure if you are a beginner with Tkinter, you've learned a lot by now. Also help me reach my target subscribers of 1,000, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.